Hi, this is Bix Weir with roadtoroota.com. Today's a roadside chat for February 12th, 2017. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and why the price is so crazy, why it's gone up above $1,000 once again, and the reasoning behind it, the reason you'll hear in the media, the spin from the Bitcoin haters, and why I think Bitcoin's just going to have a great year, going up much higher from the $1,000 it is today. My overall number for this year is up to $10,000 per Bitcoin by the end of the year, and there's good reason for that. But we're going to look at today is why there's so much worry and concern about Bitcoin, about what China's doing to the market, and what is actually happening in these Bitcoin trading exchanges. Are these real trades or are they something different? And from what I'll show you in the chart form, you're going to see that Bitcoin is a lot like silver and gold trading in that massive derivatives are traded in these exchanges that are essentially a fractional reserve system, just like the fractional reserve banking system we have, where banks lend out $10 for every $1 they own. We have fractional reserve commodity exchanges where thousands of ounces, hundreds of thousands of ounces, billions of ounces of electronic silver are traded when they only hold about 20 to 30 million ounces in inventory, which means the leverage is gigantic. Gigantic. It's not 100 to 1. It's more like, I think I ran the numbers the other day. It's 2,300 to 1 based on how much physical silver is in inventory versus how many trades go on in an entire year, which is how the price is set. The price is set on the COMEX and the LBMA. Well, not really on the LBMA, at least on the COMEX, by how many futures and options are traded every year. It's not the open interest, which is like a point in time. That's exactly the opposite of figuring out prices. That's at the end of the day, they stop and say, oh, we have this much and they have that much. Doesn't mean a thing. It's all about the volumes of trades. Anyway, that relates very closely to what is going on, or at least what was going on with Bitcoin at the Bitcoin exchanges, especially in China. And what I'm going to show you is a couple charts that break down how much volume in trading was going on within these exchanges. Now, one thing you need to remember is these exchanges are not official Bitcoin transactions. They trade within their own pool of Bitcoin and of cash. So none of these transactions that go on within the exchanges are actually recorded on the blockchain. It's a side game, a side casino that China has been running for quite a while, and it really kicked off in the last couple of years, and I'll show you some charts about that. So this is the trading volume of Bitcoin on all the major exchanges around the world. And as you can see from this chart, China has had most of the volume in the last couple of years. And it basically has come out of three exchanges: the BTC, which is the Bitcoin China, the Huobi, and the OKCoin exchange. These are the largest exchanges in China. And for a long time, at least the last 2 years, they've had free trading where traders can go in and there's no fees or cost to the amount they trade. Now, the way that exchange made money is to lend coin, lend margin, lend trading margin to traders, and that's kind of how it all started to grow into out of a exchange where you go in and buy and sell Bitcoin into a casino, much like the COMEX, much like our central banking system. And you can see with the volumes, look at the volumes going back all the way to 2015, and you can see very low volumes. Remember, there's only 16 million coins. There was a lot less back then, but there's only 16 million coins that have ever been mined in Bitcoin. And there's a maximum number of 21 million. So when you see volumes going up, and this is a weekly chart over the past 2 years, you see volumes going up at 25, 30, up to 65 million coins per week being traded. You know there's something wrong. You know these aren't real transactions going down where people go in, buy Bitcoin, and it's recorded on the blockchain. And they don't claim that that's what they do. They claim that, hey, This is a pool of Bitcoin that you're allowed to buy and sell from. Now, once you take your Bitcoin out of that pool, that is a real blockchain transaction and is recorded on the blockchain. So as you can see over the last few years, in 2015, it's well below a million coins per week. And then you started going a little crazy in 2015, and this is all China for the most part. And you can see these volumes just kick up and just go really big all the way up until, if you look, the end of 2016 is when the Chinese central bank came in and said, hey, we need to clean this up. And now, a common misconception is people thinking that the People's Bank of China came in to destroy Bitcoin and to stop money flowing out of their country. But that's not what is going on. They are not passing laws that say you can't transfer, you can't buy Bitcoin. We don't want you getting into Bitcoin. They came in and said, we want a Bitcoin exchange that is fair and upfront and honest. Completely different from what we have in the United States on the COMEX or in London at the LBMA. So what they did is they said, no more margin. You cannot run these exchanges where these trading companies can trade millions of Bitcoin every day because there's not that much Bitcoin out there. And it's a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme that will fall apart. We're going to clean this up. So they came out with some announcements. They brought the heads of these exchanges into their office and they said, you're going to clean this up and you're going to do it right away. And you can see what happened to the price of Bitcoin at the end of 2016. They slammed it down. The Bitcoin price was slammed down from close to $1,100 all the way down to $700, and now it's back up above $1,000. But the key is to look at these volumes and see what they've done over the past 2 years, and then I'm going to get into what they've done in the last few months. Now, this is a chart going back to July of 2016, and you can see the ramp up, the big ramp up, all the way up to, this is a weekly chart, up to 65 million coins traded per week, and most of them, look at the three colors, are on those Chinese exchanges. Then you can see in December that the Chinese central bank came out, put the hammer down, and volume was dropped to almost nothing in China. And that's a really interesting thing because although the volumes have dropped to almost nothing, the price it's back up above $1,000 again. So it really didn't affect the price all that much that these side gamblers in these exchanges can't trade the kind of volumes that they have been. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on the trading volume in China is going to be lower and lower because they're cleaning up the exchanges. They're making them more legitimate because they know that the future of the monetary system, of our current monetary system, is in jeopardy. So they want something that they can go to that people will accept and like. And I think Bitcoin is a great transition type currency out of the US dollar and the fiat monetary system into something new. And China is preparing for that. I love it. And here's the chart for just this last week. This is the daily chart. And you can see these volumes dropping down to, and they look like they're dropping down to nothing, which would make you think that there's less and less interest in Bitcoin. But that's not what's happening. The Bitcoin that's traded back and forth is becoming honest. It's not these fake trades. This is an honest system where they actually trade Bitcoin for cash. Now, you can see in around February, there's a little uptick. And it's really interesting what that was. You know, it's the announcement. It was the final announcement that they're going to crack down on the exchanges. And the exchanges said, well, we won't let anybody withdraw Bitcoin. They can withdraw cash, which made the price drop, but we won't let anybody withdraw Bitcoin until we get these software programs fixed up. It'll be about a month. And the next chart, you can see exactly when it happened. There's a big jump, but look at the numbers. I mean, we're talking about 74,000 coins in an hour. This is much smaller than what it was before. Remember the millions of Bitcoins traded. So yeah, this is all getting cleaned up. It's a great sign for Bitcoin. And you can see by the price, even with all this kind of forced selling and people getting out of different exchanges within China because they're going to have to pay fees and the government wants to know what they're doing, look at the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin for the last 2 years has been on a tear. And even with all this government kind of, not intervention, but government cleaning up these markets, the price is still rising. And all the exchanges are kind of trading at the same price level, which with arbitrage, trading in two different exchanges, it's pretty easy to do. But the volumes have gone to almost nothing. Almost nothing is good for Bitcoin. It means that real transactions are happening, not the hyper leveraged, hyper hypothecated derivatives of Bitcoin, just like that goes on currently on the silver market and on the gold market. These are turning into real exchanges of Bitcoin for cash. People are taking their Bitcoin and saying, yes, I want to be positioned with Bitcoin in my own possession. Hopefully they're getting smart enough to take it out of these exchanges and put it in their pocket, or not their pocket, but their paper wallet or their electronic storage device, and keeping it in their own possession, because there's so much counterparty risk, especially with these very volatile, weakly capitalized exchanges within Bitcoin. So yeah, it's a great time to buy Bitcoin, to hold Bitcoin, to ride it out through the coming economic chaos that we see looming on the horizon. And it could hit any moment. I believe it'll hit in the first half of 2017, and then you're going to see just craziness within the Bitcoin community as people scramble to try to get Bitcoin, and they're going to take it out of the exchanges, out of the online wallets. Online wallets kind of do the same thing. They have a pool. That's why places like Coinbase won't give you your private address, because they keep it within their pool and they use it for various reasons. I'm sure they rehypothecate it, but nobody knows. It's a great place to buy and sell Bitcoin, but take it out. It's not a good place to store anything. No third party between you and your Bitcoin. Anyway, this is Bix Weir, your roadside chat from roadtoroota.com. Make sure you like, subscribe to this video and the rest of my videos. Putting a lot of videos out lately. And go to roadtoroota.com, and there's over 2,000 articles about this stuff going back since, the late 90s when I got involved with GATA. So check it out. Come on by roadtoroota.com. Talk to you soon.